Muslims praying together symbolize a unified body of the faithful. At no time of the year is that unity more apparent than the Hajj pilgrimage. Nearly 2.5 million Muslims traveled to Mecca last year to perform the Hajj. But this year, Saudi Arabia has banned people from traveling to the country. It's trying to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Saudi Arabia is ready to serve pilgrims under all circumstances. But under the current circumstances, during the global pandemic from which we have asked God to save us, the Kingdom wants to protect the health of Muslims and its citizens. So we've asked our Muslim brothers in all countries to wait before doing Hajj contracts until the situation is clear.
The coronavirus threatens more than just pilgrims, though. Religious tourism contributed more than $20 billion to Saudi Arabia's economy in 2018. The pandemic has slashed revenues for airlines, hotels, and restaurants, and threatens more than 20% of the country's non-oil-related income. It also jeopardizes the kingdom's goal to increase revenues from pilgrimages to $150 billion by 2022. Saudi Arabia would need to accommodate at least 30 million people, but this year's Hajj pilgrims will be a tiny fraction of last year's.
The number of pilgrims will be around 1,000. We are still in the phase of discussions, so the number might be 1,000 more or less. The operation is an extremely delicate one.
Many people were afraid the Hajj would be cancelled altogether. The kingdom is allowing Muslims within the country to perform it, but that means the rest of the Muslim world will have to wait until restrictions are eased to complete one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Tayyibe Aydin, TRT World.
Well, for more, let's go to Jafaar Altaie in Abu Dhabi. He's the managing director of the advisory services firm Manaar Energy. Welcome back to Money Talks, Jafaar. Now, it seems like there's absolutely nothing that the coronavirus pandemic has left unscathed, including Islam's holy Hajj pilgrimage. But the kingdom really didn't have much of a choice given the current situation, did it?
No, not really. I mean, it's pressure and challenges, no matter how you look at it, as you've pointed out, and not just for Saudi Arabia, for the region, for the world, in fact. Now, on the face of it, this is extremely challenging and really presents a lot of insurmountable obstacles in terms of the Saudi economy. That's on the sort of risk side. On the upside, on the positive side, however, it does compel the economy in Saudi Arabia to become more efficient, to become more adaptable, things like reducing its fiscal break-even in terms of its oil price dependence, and trying to become more innovative in managing a lower cost base as far as the sort of national cost burden is concerned, and then being more active in the international financial market. All of these things are signs of a modernizing economy, and one that has to basically respond to the realities of today. So the days of easy oil and dependence on easy oil definitely are over. So I think on the negative side it is challenging, but then there is a positive implication for Saudi in that it can use this opportunity.
Yes, I want to talk more about the economic implications of the pandemic in just a moment, but we know that the 5-day Hajj is a source of a great political and pride for Saudi Arabia, as well as its religious significance, obviously. It also generates billions of revenue for the kingdom. Just how important is this annual Hajj pilgrimage for the Saudi economy?
I think it's very important, but there is a symbolic importance and then there is an actual importance. And the symbolic importance is almost as equally significant as the actual importance. In other words, if the Hajj actually takes place, despite the reduced numbers and despite the issues arising from Corona, it still took place. And it's still a milestone and an achievement for Saudi Arabia to actually hold the events, given the current restrictions. If you see worldwide, it's things are being cancelled left, right, and center. So actually having the opportunity to hold it is extremely significant. Of course, on the other side of the coin, you have the real effect. It does undermine the economy, but when you look at the big picture, everything is undermined anyway. So while you're saying, it could hit the economy to a large extent, it doesn't make the problem any different. Saudi still has to contend with a more challenging economic environment. Even if Hajj was to take place with the same numbers, it would be better for Saudi Arabia. And the fact that it's not makes the situation worse in actual terms, but the big picture remains the same. The challenges remain the same. And so Saudi Arabia's vision has to remain the same. It has to adapt to the current situation.
Now, on Sunday, Saudi Arabia lifted most of its coronavirus restrictions that were in place, including a nighttime curfew. Can you tell us more about how this pandemic has really impacted the economy?
I think the pandemic has brought to light the need to restrict spending, number one. The need to play a more active role in the international financial market, number two. And the need to take on board a more efficient and pragmatic economic vision, and one that does not depend on, $60 oil, $70 oil. If you also witness during this time the sort of meetings that OPEC has been having, they're more comfortable with the range of $40, $30 to $50 oil, rather than last year where they were aiming for a higher range. All of this is signs that the Saudi economy is facing the reality. Let's not be under any illusions, however. The short-term impact is very significant. Life is changing, business is changing, but at the same time, I believe, the Saudi leadership and the people know this is just unavoidable. These are insurmountable challenges, but it's unavoidable for them to face it, and it's almost pivotal for the survival and the viability of their economy.
Okay, Jafaar Altaie from Manaar Energy, thank you so much again for joining us on the program.